In this video, we are going to convert our JSON to Pojo, and basically we'll see how to convert your basic classes into RestAssured framework.
Yes, so let's see how JSON was created, right? So if you see, this particular JSON had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variables, right? When we created Pojo, we had 7 variables and then 7 getters and setters. Now you are saying that how can we generate a sample, like sample for child JSON? So I can go in JSON path, have a sample. Now you are seeing data of child JSON here. I will go back for the demo purpose. Okay, now you can see there are multiple classes here. So this is class 1, which is GitHub repo. Yeah, because I named this as it. So this is your parent class. This parent class has object for child classes, which is Indo-European, right? Now under that you have Indo-European. Under Indo-European have methods, and under that you have one more class, Indo-Iranian, and so on. So in this case you have to create, I think, 5 classes. So based on your child JSON, you have to create number of classes. So the structure would be this: main class will create an object for child class will create an object for subchild class create an object for subchild class, and so on. And now when we want to make use or modify something, we create an object for main class, and then using using dot operators, we can go to that particular subclass and make change in that particular class, and then send those Pojo object to the rest assured body part. I hope it is clear. Okay, guys. Okay, so now we have created the repo, right? And for managing payloads, we need to add request payload section, right? So for managing payloads, we will create, let's say, because we need to modify the name and other part of the body, right? So here we don't have anything right now. We have declared anything. So we will use set name, set description, and set everything in request payload. This is our payload manager, right? So for payload manager, what we're gonna do? We're gonna create a method. Let's say create payload for. We need to set description. Could be anything. We need to set has issues. Let's set it true. We need to set home page. We need to set as wiki repo dot set as project, and finally repo dot set private, right? Okay, so now we have modified the JSON here, and once that is done, we need to return it. And for again serialization and deserialization, we use Json. So Json will help us, and for that we need a Json object here. So make a global Json object, private Json, new Json, and now I can we have Json or not? Okay, now I can deconvert now using Json dot to JSON and provide that object, which is repo here. Okay. So now we created this, and now we will replace this in our integration test. So we don't need this particular data, just be it get, and for that, because we need to access that, right? Again, we'll use base class to create an object. Payload, what is the name of that class? Request payload. Slowly, once it is completed, I will give you the code for each class. Okay, and now I will come here, call the request payload. Okay, so that code is also reduced. Now we need to replace this code also, which is endpoints, which are constant. For that, we'll take this to endpoint class or the constant class, right? So public final static create repo API and our code is /user/repos. Public static final. Okay, and let's replace this with API endpoint or API constant dot create repo, right? And finally, we need to replace this status code from here because we want to make it more readable. So the then part we can remove, and then and get part. And for that, we can use actions. So for that, I'm going to remove this and make use of response object. And once you get everything in response, once you create a response object, you get everything. Like you can get status code, you can get body, right? And you can get headers also. Okay, everything is available with that response. So we're gonna make use of this to make it more readable. But before that, we need to supply this and move it towards here. Now make use of actions class. First of all, let's create a action class. Let's say verify. If we have lot of data in payload, then we can use JSON files. So that's why I said there are different ways to do it. JSON file you can use and then modify only certain data which are needed for uniqueness part. Okay, but this is the way to do it. Now you can either modify certain parts of the data or do it some part of the data. So in our case also, we just need to create name. I think only name and description are valid. Nothing else is required. So you can just remove all this. So it would be not time consuming if you know which part of data is unique.